Hello.
Woo!
Hello, everyone.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of
Just like us.
I'm your host, Justin Burgess, my lovely lady, Lady Zito.
Hi, good evening. Happy
Welcome in, you
Friday.
guys. Welcome in. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about
Mm,
the strength to start over. It's going to be a good
yeah,
one, too. I
yeah.
feel like a lot of these hit home for myself because there's so many different ways to go about, starting over.
Mm.
For me, well, before I get started, how you feeling?
I'm feeling
Let me
phenomenal
see.
again.
You feel okay.
Ooh.
She feels all right, So again, this is a great day to be alive. We just said a
Absolutely.
prayer, Letty and I just want to give a second to say thank God and thank the universe
Mm,
for having me. And I love and enjoy being here every
yeah,
day. And I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful to be here, to be able
amen.
to be out in the world and have everybody see me, whether I reach 100 people or a
Or
million
one.
people.
It's
This
worth
is
it.
really something special to be out here doing this. So I want to give thanks to God, thanks to
Yes.
myself, thanks to Letty, thanks to my family and all of you who are watching. Just a special shout out to all of us
Yes.
for showing up for ourselves and for being here as a
Yeah.
whole, as a family. So thanks you guys for tuning in and being a part of this. So okay, let's get started. Okay,
Ooh.
starting over is hard, but always possible. And every setback is a chance to rebuild. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
this is a subject that I could go on for days because I've got so many stories and things that I've dusted myself off. I've
mm,
gotten up. I've got hurt and I've gotten up. But that's the important thing is I've gotten up. I've
mm.
always made sure that I got up. Actually, I'm gonna share a story. I got off the phone with the county sheriff's office here in the city I'm in, and I never thought I'd be like talking to cops in like a good way. You know what I mean? And it's really cool because I was on the phone and I want to donate some time to going into the jails and talking to the inmates and letting them know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I was talking to one of the officers, and he said, he's like, business is good. And he's like, that's the bad part. Is like, there's constantly people coming in and out of here, so we could use somebody like
Mm.
you with your energy. Because I got on the phone with this guy and he's like, yeah, let's hear, what's your story? What do you got going on? And what can you offer? And I told him, I told him I'm a fatherhood coach and I've been in prison and I, been homeless and I did the drug thing for 20 years. And I said, but I finally come to reality that if I want to live, for an extensive amount of time, I'm going to need to really, start playing by the rules and not using and not running away from my problems. And so I got into it with, just telling them my story and where I'm
Mm.
at as opposed to where I was, even like within a year. And I could like he was just completely silent the whole time I'm talking to this guy, and he's like an advocate. He's one of the people that signs people up to like get people in to being able to talk to the inmates.
Yeah.
And it was really it was amazing because again, like I was so excited because I'm telling him my story, and he's like, man, he's like, I'm hyped up right now. This guy, and
Yeah.
he's an officer, he works. But he said he's like, I've been in and out of this jail myself. He's like, so
Mm.
just because you've been in and out of jail doesn't mean that they're just gonna like completely say no. He's like, there's a chance they may say no, but with what you've got going on, with you want to come and help, there's a really, really good chance that they're gonna want you
So
coming in here
good.
and talking to these inmates. And I was like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I was hyped up. Y'all. I was like,
Yeah.
to me, it was a blessing because I'm actually gonna be able to go in there and make impact. Because I'm not gonna go in there saying, oh, I'm all this. I'm gonna say I've been
Where you're
in the
at.
gutter.
Yeah.
I've been in the gutter, but like not by choice. Like I by choice and not by choice. Growing up, how we grew up, I didn't have a say so. I really didn't. I mean, what could I do as a kid? But what do they say? If you're born broke, that's your fault. But if you die broke, that's your fault. And I'm saying not just saying money, but if you're not learning what you need to learn within that time, like
Mm.
it's unfortunate, but there's people that go through their life and they don't ever get to the point where I'm at. And where I'm at, I'm saying is like I'm at peace with myself.
Mm.
I'm at peace with life, and
That's
and
priceless.
I enjoy
It's
being here. And so
priceless.
again, by no means am I ever saying that I'm better or anything like that. I'm just saying I've bettered myself. I've
Right.
gotten where I'm at because I've done the work.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And the work would be not doing anything. Some half the time it's like not going out and getting substance and not going out and getting booze or nicotine or whatever it is. So half the time it's like it's not even work; it's the lack of work that would be helping us out. So for me, this experience today, I got the email, so it's in the works. I'm gonna go and start, donating my time to go talking to some of the inmates, and I really feel like I'm gonna impact them because Again, I have an amazing story. Like, I rob houses. I've been in several big gang fights. I've been,
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some of the craziest things you can imagine. Yet here I am sitting in a suit in a nice, beautiful house with this fantastic camera and laptop and all these amazing things that I've worked hard for. That typically I would have been stealing, And again, I'm not proud of this. I'm not ashamed of it. This is just how it was. But not how it is. I've changed my life, and I've done the work myself. I've done all this work. Of course, I put myself there, but I've also gotten myself out of this stuff by putting in the work and making sure that I'm working on me from the inside out. So it's an amazing place to be, and I'm excited for that. That's just one venture that I've got going on. I got several things going on, and so for me, fear and doubt are normal, but they don't define me at all. The fear, they don't define who I am. Because have I been fearful at times? Yes. I can tell you several times where I've been afraid. I've been afraid to be by myself. I've been afraid to be around people in prison. I'm afraid on a daily of something happening to my family. You know what I mean? Why? I don't know. It's just kind of how my brain has been working. But I'm not afraid of being in fear. I'm not sad to say anything. I'm happy. I'm a happy person with what I have going on in my life. So on that, I'm handing it over to Leti. And how do you feel?
Oh, that's you said quite a bit right there, but
Sorry,
I
guys,
just want to
yapped too
first of all,
much.
no, I just want to first of all say like how proud of you I am, because I knew you while you were doing some of this stuff,
Yeah.
and I've seen what you've been doing to better yourself, when that light bulb moment came for you, and I've watched you, grow exponentially, like just grow and grow and grow. And I've been able to be that voice, or that you know um person you bounce things off of, and I've seen you at some of your best times and your worst times, and vice versa, and so I'm watching you define what success means for you, not what someone else thinks it means for you, but what you think it means for you. And that is a beautiful thing
Let's
to
go.
watch,
Let's go.
because I spent years chasing after, someone else's definition of success for me, what they thought that looked like for me, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, and offering suggestions. And those are all well and nice and good, but we all have our own journey and our own road, and we all have our own blueprint to follow, right? We came here with purpose and destiny. And your voice matters and your story matters. And starting over, man, let's talk about that a little bit, because I have also had to start over many times in my life. I was a teenage mother. I was 15 when I had my first child, and I was a kid myself. Was in the 8th grade when I found out I was pregnant. And that was a motivating factor to keep me in school, because I didn't want to be a statistic, right? And I wasn't doing all that well in school. I was heading down the wrong road. But when that happened, it was an opportunity for me to start over, right? And really take that opportunity to do something with it. And I graduated and went to college for a little bit. Didn't stay there. Why? Because once again, I let someone else dictate for me what they thought I should be doing as far as a college degree, right? And that's just how it worked for me in my life. And I'm getting to know what I like and what I want. And, and I'm still making mistakes. I mean, I like to call them learning opportunities, right? And what it's helping me do is see what I don't want, to know what I want. And, starting over, I've got divorced and didn't think, I would ever find, like real love again, right? Because I had a lot of cheap love and quick love. But then I met Justin, and, I met Justin, and we've had our ups and downs, we've had our ins and outs, but what I've learned from being married to now is that even in your relationship, you can start over. You can start fresh. You can step into love like you've never been hurt before. You can keep holding on to that hurt and creating an expectation and keep getting the same of what you've always been getting, and so every day it's an opportunity for me to, step into love and trust like I've never been hurt before. I get the opportunity to do that. And it's scary because your mind wants to say, ooh, but remember when you did that, you got hurt, you know,
Yeah.
whether it was by you or someone else, and I've hurt you too, you know. And so you've also had to learn, to trust me and trust what I say, and we get that opportunity every day to get to do that. And so um don't think it's over, even if you failed at something. And sometimes we, try to hold on to something so hard because we don't want to fail.
Mhm.
That's what I did. I'm going to make this work.
Right.
This is going to happen. And it's knowing when to let go when it's feeling forced, or I don't care what it is: job, career, relationship, your own thoughts. I had to dare to do something different. I wanted something better for myself, and you know, hurting myself was not the way that I wanted to keep doing it. I knew that I was hurting myself by doing some of the things that I was doing, and I started to call out to God and say, "What can I do? Because what I'm doing is not working. The thoughts that I'm thinking are not working. What can I do?" And I had to, and I grieved. Starting over, there's a process of grieving too. What you thought was going to be, you know, to what really is, and you get the opportunity to do something different. Start over as many times as you need to. It's about resetting, recharging, and realigning. For me, I want to start doing things that align with what my soul is saying to me, not what someone else sees or someone else says I should be doing. It's what do I want to do? What lights me up? What makes me happy? What gets me excited? And I love people. I love talking to them. I like to hear their stories and how they've overcome, and what they've done, and then share mine.
Yeah.
And I think that is what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Success
So
changes with growth, you guys. I mean, as long as we're growing, that's what matters. I mean, success isn't just about how much money you make.
right.
It's not like, I mean, how much, what your income is, or, what your status is. I don't feel, I mean, success
It's
to me
not,
is,
yeah.
I believe that I'm becoming a success story in my own
Mm,
right, because from where I've came, or from where I was
mm,
at to where I've come, is like a night and day difference.
yeah.
So, I mean, success isn't just measured by, how much you work and like what you accomplish. I feel like it's, getting up and dusting myself off and
Mm,
being able to continue to move forward. And for me, I feel like being a leader, and being able to give back, I think that's where I'm going to really see a difference and a change
yeah.
in me as a person. Because I mean, I've taken so much. In fact, when I went to prison, I grew my hair out, and I grew my hair out for 18 years. And the whole goal was to give it to lots of love. That I ended up cutting it in jail because I was balding. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I ended up losing half my, but I mean, like, I've taken so much that I'm like, it's only right to give back for me. Because again, I've hurt so many people, and granted, whether I knew them or not, or whether it was random, whatever the case is, like, there's so many times where I've taken from people that I didn't deserve to be able to gain these things, but I'm out here just taking them. And so, I was supposed to be in prison. I was supposed to be where I was at, and I've come a long way. I've really come a very far distance from there to here, and I feel like it's my time to give back. So again, like, starting over for me is really like a born again kind of thing.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm really excited to be here, and I'm happy to say that, hey, I'm starting over, and it's a really good way to do it, because I'm taking life, by the horns, and I'm really going full-fledged with it. I'm not
Mm,
gonna let anything slip between my fingers, because it's so easy to just sit down and do nothing. Because I mean, who doesn't want to relax and just chill? You know what I mean? Like, getting up and having to strive to do something, like that takes energy, and it takes a lot of energy, especially if you're wanting to work for yourself or start a business or
mm,
anything. But we can do it. We have it inside of us to do whatever it is that we want. Again, like I tell my son Justin, like, the words that you are not allowed to say in front of me
mm.
are can't and
Can't
hate.
and hate.
Yes, and those are two, I think, very powerful words. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I would prefer him not to say, but those are the two that, you know, that I would prefer him not to say in front of me at all, because you can do anything, whether it be bad or good, considering who you're asking, bad or good, you could do anything. And so, you know, getting up and dusting myself off, and, you know, we can start over any day. And I know I'm making it sound
Any
easier,
moment.
but really, like, it's as easy as that. You can really start over. You can walk away from everything. Like, literally, you could just walk out of your house and just walk barefoot wherever you want. And I know, like, again, I don't want to sound simply like foolish. I just want you guys to know, like, if we really want, we can start over at any given
Yeah.
moment. And so I'm really excited to be here and where I'm at and sitting in this chair and being able to talk to you guys, because it
Mm.
means a lot to be able to say I could start over and being able to build up from practically nothing. You know, Letty met me and I hardly had really much, but what God gave me, you know what I mean? The skin on my bones, and, like, you know, just basically the bare minimum. So
Yeah.
starting over to me is like really being able to dig deep and process things in real time, and, like, being able to, you know, just be myself and understand that life is life. But, you know, I was talking to someone yesterday, and the conversation came up about how life is hard. And it was a really close friend of mine. I've known him longer than anybody else in this whole world, other than my mom and my parents,
Mm.
obviously. But Chris Parrish, shout out to my brother Chris.
Chris.
He was telling me how, you know, he's got his business and he's doing really well for himself. And he's like, man, he's like, I couldn't really ask for anything more right now. I've got everything a man could want. And he's got his baby, he's got his wife,
Mhm.
he's got his nice house, he's got everything, you know, and he's stable. And so he's like, man, life is hard. And when we were talking, I was thinking about, like, it's really not to me.
Mhm.
And again, I do not want to come off like as if like I'm some special, like, you know, but I feel like it is like, it's a way of thinking, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean? It's
is.
like, you know, however, if life is hard for you, then it's hard for you. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, it can be, but I don't really have that mentality. Like,
Mm.
I'm like super blessed to be here. And it comes down to really just being thankful for
Mm.
being able to be here in it, because I was telling him how me and Justin Jr. were praying, and how we prayed for his little shins hurting. You know what I mean? I think I was mentioning this on the last
Yeah.
podcast about the episode about him hurting, and praying for his little shins. He's like, thank you, God. Like, he said a prayer last night for dinner.
Yeah.
It was the cutest
Yeah,
thing. And, like, I wish
it
we
was.
recorded it. Some things aren't meant for
Mhm.
recording, but it was cute. It's just like, remember I told you guys last, God, I don't know. He just really wants to make sure them lips are nice and buttery when he's talking. Like,
Yeah.
God, thank you for the roof. Thank you for the blankets so we're not cold. And it was the cutest thing in the world. And I was like, we both, me and Letty, we just like, we're holding hands, because he said, before we eat, let's
Yeah,
pray.
that's-
We all grabbed hands, and, like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just the cutest thing in the world. And so
Yeah.
for me, starting over is being able to, like, be able to be here for these moments, like
Mhm.
those, and, like, being like, he's learning how to ride a bike, and, like, I'm so blessed to be here. Starting over is just the beginning. Like I'm able to start over right now, just like anyone else. If you're going
Yeah.
through hardship and you think that you can't, you can. You go around and be around the right people. Go get the help that you may need if you're addicted, or if you're in a place of, you know, where you're being battered, or if you're being harmed or hurt.
Homeless.
You know, get out of there. And again, I don't mean to make it sound, oh yeah, it sure sounds easy. I don't mean to make it sound like it's that easy, because I know it can be hard. I know, if anyone knows, it can be a difficult, you know, a path or a struggle to get into places. But really, like, really sit down and think about it. Like, what's holding me back from doing the best that I can be? Me. I can blame
That's
anything.
it,
I could
yeah.
literally blame anything and everything
Mhm.
that I want. I could blame this and that, but, like, really, it's me. And I do have the power to get up. I got legs that work.
You do.
All my phalanges
Yeah.
work. All the synovial fluid in my fingers and all my joints work. I could talk. Everything's good. I mean, minus the teeth that I don't have, and, like, minus the hair I don't have, and there's some things I don't have, but I can get back. You know what I mean? I'm getting some. I got the implants, and went to the dentist today, by the way.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is that, you know, we have the option to start now. Starting over doesn't have to be when it's something extremely,
Right.
you know, negative, or something extreme happens. Like, why not start over right now? You know what I mean? If you're not feeling what you're going through, it's really up to us. And again, I don't mean to make it sound like, you know, I got everything figured out, but this is kind of me. For me, I can say this with experience of, like, I've started over several times. There's been several times where I've gotten out of jail, and I refer to these things because these are what's relevant as far as, like, being able to, you know, to relate to. And so I've had to start over several times from, like, moving with my parents. Like, we've moved several times, and, like,
Yeah.
lost so much stuff. Like, I've lost all my pictures, and I had the most amazing
Mm.
pictures. Like, I really have. And anybody who knows me, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, photos were my thing. And so, like, losing photos, you know, but I mean, I've started over, and I've always made best and do with what I have.
Yeah,
And I've always been,
exactly.
like, for whatever reason, God has never left me high and dry. I've never
Ever.
needed for anything. There's never been a time like, and I remember feeling this growing up, like for whatever reason, like we always had food, whether it be goulash or whatever my mom's famous, 3 meals, 3 nights in a row, left over, put together, like we had what we needed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe that was my way of coping with life, and maybe that was my way of saying, yeah, we're not dead, thank God we're alive. But maybe that's what's keeping me in a positive mood right now. You know what I mean? Because I got everything. Like I'm really striving to do more, but I got the essentials of everything could really. I got a great job, I got a great lady, I got a great son, I got a fantastic place to live, got vehicles, and again, I'm not bragging. I'm saying this to say, we worked for all this stuff. We worked hard, but I got out of jail, and I started working. I started programming. For me, I was like, the last time I was in jail, I got out and I was programming, and I was majorly programming. So for me, this was a complete start over. This was like from fresh. Had nothing. I had Leti. We had, we had the essential basics. I had a lot of love though. I had support, but I had myself to be able to get up and do this stuff, because was nobody going to do it for me. Nobody's going to go to these classes for me. Nobody's going to, do these sessions with me. It was really me that did the work. So starting over for me was just like, it was essential. It was really necessary. And I started from the floor up. And let me just say, I had a decent job, you know what I mean? Do a drywall and paint, and then I went to like the plumbing side and HVAC side of things, and then I got into school, and then I got out, and I was like, I graduated college with a robotics degree and a facility maintenance technician degree, and so like I was putting in the work, I was continuously showing up for myself and just leveling up leveling up, and I didn't let anything get in my way, because trust me, there was still drug use. There's still alcohol. There's still, there's other things involved. And I could have easily used those excuses to like, oh, I'm not doing good. But I kept on progressing. I'm no different than anyone else. So there's no reason why we all can't do this. If we're at a place where we want to do something better, we have to start somewhere. And I know it could be difficult. I know it could be hard. I know sometimes like there's things that are, factors that could keep us from moving forward. But really, when you really think about it, like what's truly holding me back, think about the excuses you may make. Think about the reasons that you're giving that you're not doing better. Like really think about what you're saying to lie to yourself. And I mean that to say it harshly. Yes. What are you saying to lie to yourself? Think about it. When you're saying out loud, if you give an excuse to somebody, if you're able to really consciously think about what you're saying and step back and be like, dang, did I really just say I can't do that? Think about it. Like you can't do that. You can, you just got to practice. You just got to go a different route. You just have to make adjustments. You can do it. If you want to be an asshole, you can be. If you want to be rude, you can be. If you want to be a murderer, you can be. You know what I mean? But if you want to help people, you can. You want to be somebody who's a giver, you can. And so whatever it is, we can and will do what we want. Trust me, if I wanted drugs and go, I was getting them. And guess what? I want to succeed now. I want to do better. I really want to leave a legacy. I want to be able to leave something behind so that my son can see that I'm showing up for myself, that I'm able to show up for me, and I'm doing the best that I could do. And I am. I really am. Like my son is seeing a really great father, I feel. We have a great relationship. I'm showing up for me, and I'm making sure that I'm doing my best, and I keep on progressing every day. And even though I'm looking back and I'm like, there's a lot I can work on. I'm from where I was even just last year, 6 years ago. Like it is night and day. Like legitly, I have come like around the entire world, so to speak. Like I've come so far, but that's because I've done the work, you guys. I've really showed up for myself when nobody else would. Like who's gonna really show up for me and pay my bills or do my time or raise my kids or whatever else? Me. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the one that does it. So are you. You guys are going to be the ones that show up for you. So if there's anything that you feel like you're not doing, you can't do, start over now. Like even if it's school or whatever education that you're looking to get into, like starting over right now. You know what I mean? So
the world is your oyster. It really it is. I was scared to death to quit a job, a security that I'd had for 18 plus years without a backup plan. But I felt so strongly, right? It was something that I had been wanting to do for quite some time. And, talk about starting over, like literally from ground zero, to get where I'm at, the peace that I have inside, the serenity, the way that I love myself and the way that I love others and the way that I am showing up huge for myself, like putting myself out there and interacting with people. And I was able to, see what I wanted, what I liked, what I didn't like, and I trust that God will protect me, will provide for me. I've never gone without either. I might not always get what I think I want, and then when I don't get it, I find out, oh, that was a good reason I didn't get
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Father knows best.
Yeah. Straight up.
And it's trusting him, and it's been a little rough. I've been a little depressed. You know, thinking, okay, what's my next move? What am I supposed to be doing? And I'm just going within. I'm not asking too many people what I should do. This time around, I need to find out what Letty needs to do and do it. What I really, really want to do, what, like I said, what really lights me up and gets me going, and not let other people define what success is for me, because, I've had, and have really nice things. And those things aren't wrong. They're here, they don't prove success or not success. They're just nice things to have, to enjoy, to have pleasure with.
Yeah.
Success, you get to define what success means for you.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up is a successful day. I'm still here, walking in my purpose and aligning, with what is for me, and letting go of what isn't for me, and not feeling bad about that, or not feeling like, oh God, I failed. I don't want to have the coulda, woulda, shouldas. That's just something that like brings you down. And I love one thing that I do often. I just go like, plot twist, that didn't go so well, and move in a different directions. For instance, my hair, this before getting ready for this podcast, did not want to cooperate, and I could have cried about it, or gotten upset about it, but I was like, just do something else. So I put it up. So I hope y'all like it.
Yeah.
You're
Failure
welcome.
is not the end, you guys. Like I've been telling my son Justin, we went and riding this bike, and he was a bit, he's kind of like scared of falling. And for the first 5 seconds on, he did fall, and he bashed his little shin at me. He's like, the old family guy, on his knee for an hour.
Yeah.
But then after we got back on, like letting him know, listen, I fall all the time, and I'm letting him know, like, did you see me fall on the skates not too long ago? I got back up and I kept on going, and guess what? Now I know what not to do. And so by explaining to him that you're going to fall, but that's what we want. You're going to fall, but at least when you fall, now you know how to fall a little bit better next time. You know what I mean? So, but you're going to fall, but just know that you're probably going to fall. But when you fall, make sure that you get back up. So failure, it's not the end. It's the beginning to build something better. You know what I mean? So I'm training him to understand, like, it's within your mind. And here's something that's interesting is like, I've been training him how to use his mind so well that to keep himself from being ticklish. So he's very ticklish on his feet, right? And he can do it. Like he can do it. And I think it's sinking into where you can use your mind for anything, even if you feel like you're being tickled. So he's really good. Okay, try it now, Dad. And he'll be he's very sensitive to tickle. I'm the most ticklish person in the world. Like, don't even come near me, I'll start laughing. Like, and I don't even like it. And so for him, it's the same thing. And so by teaching him, hey, you can use your mind. And so I won't just dig in and start tickling him. Like I'll just barely lightly touch his, his feet or whatever, and let him warm up to using his mind to be able to. And now he's really good at it. Yeah. And today we were running back from throwing the trash away, and he fell and he hit his knees on the rocks. Or we come from the neighbor's house. He fell and hit his knees on the rocks. And I'm like, it's like when you get tickled, like he was hurting, he was about to cry. I could see, like, trying to walk it off. They're about to come to the door. His friend was about to come to the door. So I'm like, it's like when you get tickled, it's all in your mind. And sure enough, he did this. He breathed in and did this like little meditation thing. I'm like, I didn't even teach him that. I think Letty did. You know what I mean? But he did this little thing with his. He breathed in and then he let it go. And it was like, I was impressed. I was like, okay, let's go. Mess around and find out you're teaching your dad some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, legit. And I was so proud of him. I was like, man, that's so awesome to have this little boy teach me stuff like that. Just when I'm thinking I'm teaching him, say, it's in your mind. It's in your mind. And he's teaching me. Woosah, I mean, I was like, that's what's
and
up.
That's the cool thing, because what you're saying, it starts in your mind. So does success starts in your mind. What you think you'll experience is what you'll experience.
Yeah. And so your past, it doesn't control us. Or, our past, it doesn't control who we are.
Mm-mm.
Our future does. That's going to say who we are. Like, again, if you come into this world, not knowing stuff, that's not your fault. But if you leave this world without knowing the stuff, that is. We have the options to be able to learn, to grow, to treat each other well. And if I have to say so, like I'm not saying I'm going to heaven, but I feel like of all the dirt that I've done and things like I've been able to repent and I've been able to I love people. That doesn't make me, like favored. I'm just saying like I really treat people as if they were the last person in the world. And it's not always easy to do. I say that to say like I really like the thought of, what if you were the last person in the world? And if you were the last person, anybody who's watching this, if you were the last person in the world, you'd be every single thing that there is to be. You just, whatever you do, don't leave my side. Because without you, I don't know who I am. And I know this may be up for debate. Some people may argue, but I feel like people are so important. Each and every one of you. It's just there's so many people out there to choose from. If you don't treat me good, I can go over here to this person. But can you just imagine if the person next to you or the person in front of you, the person around you was the last person in the world? Can you imagine how important that person would be? That person, whatever you do, please don't leave me. Because I don't know who I am without you. So I treat people like gold. And don't get me wrong, I'm no angel. Like I'm not perfect. And sometimes I spite people. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm driving and I flip people off. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I'm not. Sometimes I get upset, but I really like to think that I'm working on me. I'm working on doing better by not only treating myself better, but treating others better too. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not perfect. Let me just set the record straight. Like I'm far from it. And I hope someday I get up there. But what in the Bible says there's only like 1.4 million people that are really going to heaven. I hope I'm one of them, but I really highly doubt it. And I really do. But either way, I just want to say, we're blessed to have you guys here with us. I'm blessed to have this 100 years. And again, think about it. If you have 100 years on this planet, you have 36,500 days, you guys. 36,000, that's not that long. You know what I mean? So make the absolute best of it. If starting over is something that you can find yourself being strong in, so start over. Just keep on whatever you got to do to continuously progress. Even if you don't, I mean, just understand, like, I love you guys, and I'm extremely proud of myself and proud of the people who's around me that are upholding me and holding me accountable. People that are they're showing up for me, and I'm blessed to be here. So again, don't let your failures be something that defines you. Let them be something that channels that inner you to be able to get up and start over and keep on going, because nobody's gonna do it like you.
That's right.
Nobody's gonna do it like you. Nobody. So on that note, you got anything else you want to add?
No, once again,
we know you guys are here because a lot of you are just like us, and we're just here living. Life's good. Life's way too good not to be happy, in my opinion. There's several things in the world that could get me down and out, but I choose to wake up in a positive, good mood, because I find to be that's my way of doing things. I find to be like I make an impact with people because I see people smiling on the daily, and it's not for everybody. I'm not saying that that's what you guys should do. I'm just saying for me, I find that when I wake up and my heart's pounding and I got like aches in my bones, like, thank you, God, for giving me these aches, because I can't imagine what I would be where I'm without this. Thank you. I'm able to walk and talk and think, and I can use my brain, and so thank you for all the pain and all the suffering and all the the things that would be considered negative to some people. But thank you. I'm blessed to have this. And again, thank you guys all for being part of this. I'm excited to do this. And make sure that you guys tune in every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard, and 9 p.m. Wait, no, not p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern. But yes, thank you guys, everybody, for showing up Wednesdays and Fridays, every Wednesday and Friday. So again, like it, share it, comment. The comments help a lot. You know what I'm saying? Lydia, if you're on here, sister, we seen you on the last thing. We had a big time, girl. And to everybody who's coming on here and commenting, but it really does matter. It really helps us, because it feels like, okay, people are actually watching. So we don't want to give up on this. We're going to keep on doing this. You know what I mean? So you guys show some love, at least, put some comments in there. Let us know you guys are with us. So again, thank you guys so much. My name is Justin. I love you guys. Leti. And until next time, you guys, be blessed and love on one another. Love one another and be kind. Love you guys. Peace.